Welcome to our team call. I'm going to, if you're not muted already, please mute yourself. Actually, I think I might do that right now. Mute all. Okay. So this is our team call tonight. We're going to talk about basically how to get off to a really great start and how to be here a year from now, how to make this your best year to keep moving forward. And, because this is the beginning, right? Like if you start yourself off on the right way, it can only propel you to be better than what you did last year or what you think you can do. So these are some tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. And from a lot of the reading that I've done and other leaders. So let's get started with recognition. This is always fun for me. This used to take me like 5 minutes, you guys, and now it takes me 20 minutes. And I'm just looking over the last few weeks because our names are like growing and growing, and it makes me so excited. I wonder, am I going to have to do like a call just for recognition someday? Okay, so everyone we're going to start really calling it like the 3 Lives Club. That's what I want everyone to focus on. That's how I want you to describe Success Club to your coaches. That's how I want you to see it. Not a point or a number. It's 3 people. So those of you who have helped at least 3 people, so Success Club 5 are Beth Wyack, Jenna Evie, Kara Worth, Christy Vogtavine, Liz Bazin, Jody Bulis, Jen Pierce, Jill Barnum, Amanda Fouché, and Amy Rule. Okay, so for Success Club 10, which is obviously helping at least 5 people, which is huge, we have Erin Cermak, Amy Worth, Sarah Brya, Kim Sink, Wendy Willis, Lindsay Pettit, Kim Gillenov, myself, and then for 14 points each with Rachel Baldwin and Kelly Webster. Way to go, girls. Okay, so volume. This is just last week, and everyone that I'm doing it basically by tiers so that you can kind of see it that way. Everyone who hit 300 PV, 3 to 400 PV was Sarah Brya, Ada Neary, and Tamsin West. 400 level was Kim Sink, Jill Barnum. 600 level was Jen Pierce, and 700 level was Rachel Baldwin and myself. Okay, so now recruiting. If you recruited at least 2, if you signed up 2 people to get going on this business this month, this is crazy. You guys are pushing out some really huge numbers of just people that you're getting excited about the business. And that's really what's exciting to me, because this is what you can change a lot of lives this way, because obviously, that's where like that ripple effect spreads, and it just goes that you're changing your own financial life too. So 2 or more coaches recruited this month so far: Amy Worth, Brianne Vugtavine, Kara Worth, Jen Pierce, Jenna Evie, Kim Sink, myself, and then Kim Gillenov recruited 5 just this week. Kelly Webster's at 7, and Rachel Baldwin is at 9. So way to go, you guys. You should be super proud. These numbers are insane. Okay, so now really quick, ultimate reset, just in case any of you don't know about it. I thought it'd be a way just so that if you have customers asking, or, just like this is your quick 1-minute blurb on why I'm doing it, what I think of it. I'm on day 3. So the ultimate reset is 21 days. They give you full supplements, full meal list, basically day by day. And then they give you amounts of water to drink. It is very specific. So, and there's a couple things like breakfast. You have 3 options, really. There's also a vegan option. This is for people. It's a full cellular cleanse. So anyone who's lacking energy, anyone who basically is injured or needs to just change up some major issues they have going on with their diet or their digestion. So I don't know if you're really struggling with sugar or like food demons, or if you're really just, like if people are having issues like going to the bathroom, this is a way that will totally clear it up. If you are nursing or pregnant, it's highly suggested not to do it. My baby has almost weaned at this point, which makes me so sad, but it is a situation what it is. It's a lot of food. I did not think it would be as much food as it is. And it's really good food. You don't feel like you're undernourished or that you're going through some like nasty juice only or veggie only cleanse. Like it's really good. The only bad part, which I'm sure some of you saw my post, there's basically, our greens boost that we put in our Shakeology. you have to like take a shot of that in some water. And it's kind of rough, but I've changed it to where I put it in really cold water in like 2 ounces, and I stir it up with a fork and I just shoot it like I'm in college again. So anyway, and it goes down just fine. So that is that. Now, okay, let's get started with our presentation. If you have questions about Ultimate Reset, you can just put it in the chat and I can answer at the end. Okie dokie. So let me pull this up. I'll share my screen and we can get moving. Let me change that. Okay, and by the way, I can't see you when I'm doing this, so just let me know. Basically, I mean, like, just, I don't know, shoot me a message on my phone or something if something isn't going through. So, okay, so be here in 1 year. You know, our team is growing immensely. We believe in you. I believe in you. And I feel like so many of these tips and tricks are pulled from different sources. So, you know, let's go take some notes. There's going to be a lot of things that I've pulled, like I said, from really great other people. So here we go. Okay. So number 1, don't be scared to share your story. You know, I hear from so many people like, oh, I don't have time for that. Okay, well, you know, I've had 3 babies in 4 years. Obviously, you need someone, you know, you can always use me as an example. You can always use all of the coaches on our team, especially with our network growing like it is. You know, there are so many examples for any objection that people might have about what you're doing or how to invite them to the business. So whether you hear, I'm not in great shape, obviously, I started a week before I found out I was pregnant with my 3rd. You know, I don't know enough people. Okay, I lived in population 75, Wyoming. Obviously not a mecca for health and fitness or seeing a lot of people or knowing a lot of people. You know, this business can really just come about from showing your imperfections, showing ways that your life maybe isn't always easy or perfect, but that's really how people can identify with you. Yes, I'm a mom. Sometimes I'm not, you know, not the most patient mom, but I am a mom that's like constantly working on improving myself. And that's really what you need to share your journey, because, you know, like I have it down here, you know, your vibe attracts your tribe. It's so true in so many ways, because you want to find people who are like you on a variety of levels. Obviously, people don't have to be exactly like you in situation, but just more like be that positive outlook. You know, be that person that is showing everyone that you can work really hard and have a positive attitude no matter what life might throw at you, and you can still keep moving forward. So don't be scared to show those insecurities, to show that struggle, and, you know, to just be transparent on here so that people can relate to you and love you and trust you. Because obviously, if you're here, someone saw that in you, someone sees how you could help other people, and you need to start believing that too. Okay, so if you want to be here a year from now, you have to write it down. You have to believe you're going to get stubborn. You're going to say to yourself, no matter what, am I going to quit? People are going to say terrible things to me. People are going to tell me no. I'm going to be sitting at Success Club 4 on the 30th of the month, and I don't know what I'm going to do. But if you make your mind up that you don't really care what happens to you, you don't really care what life situations happen, that no matter what, you are going to work this business and you are going to help people and you are going to change your life, then that will always happen, because what you put out will always come back. So the goal, I read this, Eric Ward was talking about this in a book where he said, every convention you go to, you kind of walk into that with a smirk on your face, like, I'm going to be here next year. How many of you other people are not going to be? Who's not going to stick with this and see the opportunity and see how much this can change everything about your life? Look around the room, because a lot of those people won't be there. But if you get your mind made up that there's nothing that will make you quit, that's when your business will really take off. Okay, so the next thing to think about is to find 5 people. And the way you have to look at this is 5 people that want to work this business will explode what you're doing. It does, and you're going to have to talk to more than 100 people potentially to find those 5 people, those gold chips, as it's talked about in the 45-second napkin presentation. Because as soon as those 5 people You help them find their 5 people. They help them find their 5 people. Think about how quickly your organization grows. And you have to find those 5 people that are like you, that want to work, by writing that list down. Those 5 people, you have to put that list in your head and on paper of who is your ideal coach, who's someone that you would want to work with every day. When they call on the phone, are you like, oh my gosh, I don't want to talk to this person? Or are you like, holy cow, I can't wait. I'm so excited. This person gets me, I get them. I can't wait to go places and see them and have vacations and see how this is changing their life. Like, those are the people that you need to write down on your list, names and qualities, because what you put out there, again, will come back. You have to fall in love with your customers and coaches. If you're here because you love Shakeology and because you're getting results with your programs, that's great. But what really will grow your business, give you long-term longevity, is falling in love with the people that you're helping. Always making sure that you're putting your customer and your coach first, and then your needs kind of come in line with that. We hear a lot about this escalator mentality. So like, imagine when you're running up the escalator. You're running, and it feels like you're not going anywhere, right? So, I really need you to kind of have that mentality, like, I'm going to keep running, because eventually what happens, if you keep running faster and faster up that escalator, you eventually get to the top, and then you just kind of keep getting to go on that ride. So that's what's really, really important for that mentality. Realize that those first 6 to 12 months, it's going to be you hustling up that escalator, hustling for those 5 people, putting yourself out there consistently. And then all of a sudden, you're going to kind of find those 5 people in that, in that first year, in those first 6 to 12 months. But then it will take you helping them for the next 6 to 12 months up that escalator, where you're running together. You are constantly moving as a team. And that's when you will really start seeing it in your business, where your, paychecks will start really improving and everything else. So if you put that timeline of, I'm going to hustle, I'm going to run up this elevator for, really 12 to 24 months minimum before I even start to think, oh, maybe this isn't working, then that's also what will keep moving you forward. Tony Robbins talks about this, CANI, can I? I suggest you have those 4 letters no matter, like, anywhere you can. Have them in your car, have them on your mirror, have them in your kitchen. So if you have that mentality of constant and never ending improvement, think about what you can do in your life. Everything, right? Whether it's as a parent, as a spouse, as, reading your personal development or helping your coaches, or I don't know, there's so many different ways with your nutrition or your workouts. If you approach all of them with this, these 4 letters, then you're not going to get stuck. Okay. So number 1, this is big for me. I don't know if this is big for everyone else, but this has to be, honestly, I think it's one of the most important things, to create an empowering routine. I just finished Miracle Morning for the network marketer, and it's a game changer for me. I wrote about this in the group, but they talk a lot about this SAVERS, SAVERS. And I'll talk you through how I do my day. But then what's really great about getting specifically the network marketers book, not just Miracle Morning, is they throughout the book have specific stories of network marketers who are in the top of the entire network marketing industry. Obviously a variety of industries, not Beachbody. There might be one from Beachbody, but they don't really tell you what business they're with and how they do their morning. So for example, as you know me, I'm a single mom of 3, so waking in silence is always interesting. But as soon as my alarm goes off, which they recommend putting your alarm not next to your bed, putting it somewhere where you have to get out of bed to turn it off, and you stand up and you drink water right away. That's the other thing they recommend. But as soon as that alarm goes off, you sit in silence for a few minutes. Just take some deep breaths, kind of feel it. And that's when you'll start your affirmations, which is the A. My affirmations, you guys will laugh, but my affirmations are, so I actually have categories because I did it based on something from Tony Robbins, but my affirmations are master of the home. I should say mistress, but that seems so weird to say. So master of the home, giver of love, hugs, and giggles. That's one of mine. The next one is, I should just grab my thing because I wrote them out, but so the next one I have is basically recruiting rock star, right? Like I have everything I need to be a recruiting rock star. The next one is empowerment of my tribe. I have every tool in my toolbox to empower my tribe and make them better. I have another affirmation of creating raving customer fan reviews. Like I can give my challengers, my customers, raving fan reviews. I have one that's ultimate physical prowess. By the way, these are goofy words. These are weird things to say. I get it. But Tony Robbins is big, really big. I'm not making your affirmations like, I want to be a good recruiter. Does that get you excited? Does that get you juiced? Probably not. So these almost need to go to that extreme, right? Like that extreme of what would be my ultimate in life? What is, like, if I could picture the absolute perfect way to describe who I want to be and what I want to be, how would I describe it? So you guys might be laughing at me, but these are mine. And then I have one that's being a spirit and soul magnet, like being a force for God. That's another one of my affirmations. And then my last affirmation, I have 7, and I call them incantations also. They kind of go back and forth. Incantations are more like you're saying it specifically. Affirmation is more like, this is what I want. Anyways, it's just logistics. So if you see those used, they're kind of back and forth in a variety of places. And then my last one is travel guru and financial genius. So goofy, I agree. But those are my 7 affirmations. I would really encourage you to think through what your ultimates would be, potentially, 3 or 4 personal, 3 or 4 business related. Okay. And if you want to message them to me so we can kind of laugh at them together, but kind of get each other excited about it, I'd love that. Okay, so the next one, V, is visualization. This is where you actually see yourself walking onto stage as a top 10 coach, if that's yours. Buying that dream house, like that you've designed with cash. Having that 3rd baby and knowing exactly that you won't have to worry about bills. I don't know. There's so many different ones. Going to Australia, if that's your visualization, writing that check to the bank that totally pays off your college loans. I want you to actually put yourself in there, get that feeling, get juiced by that feeling. Okay. So then the next one is exercise. Obviously, I'm not exercising right now with my ACL surgery, but this is something that has to be included in your everyday. As coaches, I hope this is something we're already all doing, but the fact that it's included for all network marketers shows you just how much moving your body can really propel you forward. Reading, personal development. We know this is huge, but I've been talking to a lot of people, and when they're like, oh, I'm struggling, well, I don't know. I'm like, well, what are you reading? Most of the time, they say nothing. Or they're listening to podcasts, which is great, but it's not reading. I mean, I personally think you have to commit to a book. I have made a goal of finishing 2 books every month this whole year. I've already made it through 3 this month. Maybe it's because of my surgery. I'm not sure. But, making a commitment to a book is so much different than listening to a podcast, or watching a YouTube video training. Reading a book is different, and it will commit you to a different level. I don't actually physically read a lot of my books. I get Audible and I listen to them. And then the last one is scribe. And this is really, at the end of the day, writing down what you're grateful for, writing down your memories of the day. And I struggled with this one. I've been wanting to do this for years, right? Like even before I had kids, I thought, wouldn't it be so cool to be able to go back and see what I was doing and remember that? But I've started doing this every night. I have my journal right by my bed, and I will not turn off my light until I get at least that page of things I'm grateful for that day. And putting yourself into a state of gratefulness before you go to bed will change how you sleep. It will change how you wake up. Okay, so the next one, 5 minutes to thrive. If any of you are a Tony Robbins fan, you guys know that I'm a big Tony Robbins fan. This is what he calls it. So number 1, he recommends when you wake up in the morning, you change your state. These are very similar to Sabers. You just kind of think of them a little different way. Change your state means you jump up, you breathe, you really get that positive feeling like, you're moving around. You've got that energy going. And then the next one, he calls it flooding. And I just actually did this exercise with something of his that I had yesterday, a DVD or a CD I was working through. And it's called flooding yourself with gratefulness. So what you do is you basically sit there with your eyes closed and you imagine a memory that made you feel proud, coming at you, coming into your body and like smacking you in the chest. Like think of like being in a movie where they have like these forces coming from far away and just hitting you and like fills you up with light. So think of a memory that you're proud of. Think of a memory that makes you laugh. Think of a memory of something, that gave you such joy. Think of a memory where you were just so excited about something. And then you keep doing that, like with these different memories. Like think about it starting slowly and then it comes faster and faster and faster. And imagine doing that for 1 minute where you have memories of, your 5th grade choir concert where you were, the solo, and then winning that race or shooting that basket, or, your first child being born, or graduating from college, or your parents giving you a hug on your wedding day, or, you know what I mean? Like just put yourself in that place where you are just like vibing in my, woo-woo type of talk. But if you can get yourself there, imagine how the rest of your day is going to go, because you're already starting up at this peak level. These positive incantations, we just covered this. Same with the visualization, as in the savers. And then the last thing Tony Robbins recommends is getting back in that state, standing up, jumping up and down, even just for, 15 seconds. Change it. Like do things like you'd see a boxer do before a fight. Like just kind of get yourself moving and ready to go. Okay. Another like bonus thing to do is before you leave your desk or before you close up your laptop, write down, I've been doing it actually by the half hour. Like I have it all planned out, but write down those 3 to 5 things that have to get done first thing the next morning. Then when you sit down the next morning and you've got whatever going on, you know what you have to start with. So you're already prepared to start the next day racing. This is something I'll be adding to our team page, but you have to have a monthly routine and a schedule. And while I have it, I might not be sharing it as well with everyone, but my monthly routine for my business is the 1st and 3rd week of every month, I run a challenge group. The 2nd week of every month is a what is coaching group, or that sneak peek into coaching. Also that first week of the month, I'm going to be starting a new Coach Basics for any coaches that want to do that. And then the 4th week of every month, the 4th Monday, that's where I do my free group. It's typically a free clean eating group. So it is that cadence every single month. And imagine just you knowing what's happening next. Imagine how your coaches know that that's what's happening, and then they can invite people and they can get in that cadence of their own. Okay. The second, always be working on you. This is that can I type of mentality. So you have to show your team your leadership, even if you only have one person on your team. So if you want to be having your team hit Success Club or the 3 Lives Club, you have to be doing it too. If you want to be talking about how you need to be constantly improving yourself on social media, you have to be doing it too. If you want to be a recruiting rock star, like one of my affirmations, you have to be doing it too. You have to really you have to not just talk about those behaviors, you have to be it. And then as soon as you start becoming it, that's when you attract those people into your business through your recruiting. And also just you kind of raise your coaches up to that top level because they see what's possible. Elite was something that I felt was out of my grasp, out of our grasp as a team for a few months there in between here. And I thought, how am I going to encourage my team to do this if I can't even do it, right? Like I have every single tool on this team. We have every single possible opportunity of talent and leadership and hard work, but then I'm going to give up on this. Like that's not possible. Same with, building to 10-star, 15-star, being a 6-figure earner, just different things. You can start with those little tiny milestones, but you also have to think of those big ones. Your team will follow where you lead, and that's the best way for you to keep moving forward. I can't keep, I keep mentioning his name, but I think full-on immersion is something that's essential for you to really kind of grow yourself. So I personally went to a Tony Robbins UPW event, Unleash the Power Within. It's a 3-day where you are there. You are 16 hours a day in a state of improvement, of breaking those bad patterns, of seeing where you want your life to be, going to summit going, to any trips that you can possibly go to, going to any trainings, going to Chalene Johnson, or, obviously going to the Platinum Edge with Christine Dwyer, which we're all part of Christine's downline. These are things that will grow you in ways that you never even could imagine. And that full-on immersion is so much different than watching an hour YouTube video or, listening to a thing for a few days. That immersion is what will explode who you are and what your business is. So I really encourage you to do that. If you can't get to an event, like you have a new baby or things like that, there's also a Tony Robbins program. It's called The Ultimate Edge. I highly recommend it. It's a bunch of CDs, but it's something you can listen to in the car, on your computer. I'm planning on downloading it to my cloud. So if anyone wants to help me share that, let me know. I just need to know how to do it. And then breaking your negative patterns. How you talk is who you become. Like if you keep saying like, I don't think I'm going to hit Success Club, or diamond's really hard, or, I don't have any coaches that work, things like that, things like I hear every day. You have to change those and break those. Same with, I can't wake up early. If you want it bad enough, if you want to change it, those patterns have to be stopped. You have to, not pull through McDonald's. You have to, set that alarm across the room. You have to do these certain things that, get people around you, get people surrounding you, at least the 5 people that you talk to the most, that you're around the most. Those will be who you kind of start, mimicking, I guess. So think of those 5 people and how much they're affecting you and how to break through those negative patterns. Alrighty. Okay. So the next part, I just mentioned this before we started, but follow-up is so key. Oh my gosh. If you are doing pen and paper, which that means you're at least doing something, you are missing your follow-ups. So that's something to consider. There are some other really great resources on. Sarah Try has a really great video on how to build a killer contact list. I just wrote down, there's a coach called Brooke Lipoff, Lipoff, who did a YouTube video on Streak, which is Google's form of, follow-up. And I see a lot of people, we'll talk about this in a second, but when they do hire a personal assistant, which can be anywhere from like $3 an hour to $10 an hour, they can use these spreadsheets to send out all of your follow-ups. So it's just something to consider. This is something that you could have someone really potentially help you with. Then if they email you back or message you back, that's when you get back to them. But that follow-up list, that's really where that's where your business grows, and that's where your income grows. So freemiums and email lists. We talked about freemiums a few weeks ago. Getting a freemium is basically something where someone clicks on your banner and you can give them a free 5-day clean eating, or you can give them, freemium is basically something that you send them for free, probably a PDF. It could be workout moves for a flatter tummy. It can be ways to, there's so many different ones, but like one other coach on our team, she did a freemium of how to budget for, a frugal family or something like this. Because let's just say potentially Facebook disappears. What are you going to do? Having an email list helps you really build a relationship, because now you can send a newsletter once a month, twice a month would be positive. And on that newsletter, you can use posts that you've done on Facebook. It doesn't even have to be original content. So I use a system called Aweber, which you do have to pay for. The only reason I went with Aweber over MailChimp is because MailChimp specifically has something that no multi-level marketing can be used through their system. And I didn't want to be caught and then have my whole, basically all my information erased. So that's why I went with Aweber. You don't have to use Aweber. You can start it really simple and just make a pretty newsletter on PDF or in Canva or PicMonkey, and then email it to people. Make sure to BCC if you don't have a ton of people to start. But do something like, a recipe or a motivational quote, but just something so that people can kind of see that you're more than just trying to sell them something. You are adding value to their life. And that's something that's an easy way to do it. It could take you all of 5 minutes to do. People say no to you because they don't see the value in what you do yet. And that's where you have to remember that you're only getting a no because they haven't seen enough to recognize what you can add to their life, how you're really going to help them. And to really think of how you can add more value, I need you to think about what you are like. right? Because those are the best customers that will kind of move you forward, the ones that are a lot like you. So, what do you wish you could get more information on every day when you're like rushing around the house, or when you're trying to get to work, or, when you can't sleep at night? What are those things that you're like, oh, I wish I could someone to just give me the answer to this, or just do this for me? Those are the things you need to be talking about. Getting your coaches started right. This obviously is the biggest way to teach duplication, to teach, when people sign up with you, they're putting their trust in you, that you're not just going to say, hey, good luck. Glad you signed up with me. Thanks for that sign up bonus. I'll see you later. And some coaches have had to do that. Some coaches, like when I started about the same time as my upline, whom I love. But we were kind of figuring it out together. And, our awesome, 2 levels up upline, same kind of thing. Like her team was just growing. So, that support system was, if you want to figure it out, you're going to figure it out on your own. You have other people to ask, but in general, it's you. It's on you. And I think that's why my business has grown so quickly, because I just said, okay, I'm going to figure it out. I need to do this. So with your new coaches, the way that you will always kind of keep them excited and invested in their business is for you to get to know them, right? So to figure out their why. Why are they signing up with you? What's something that's going to get them out of bed? What's something that they really want to change? And it has to be deep. It can't just be like, well, I want to help people. That's awesome. We all love people. We're not going to be here if we don't want to help people. But it has to be more than that. And your job, if you really want to grow your business, is to get amazing at this. It has to be a way for you to ask those questions that might even make you uncomfortable, but it will get them to see that you genuinely care about them. Because if you have that relationship and know their why, you can, like Nietzsche said here, he who has a why can endure anyhow. They can get through the thousands of no's. They can get through people telling them that they're ridiculous and this is a pyramid scheme and, whatever, all these objections we hear, right? At the end of the day, we know that all those things won't hold us back. And so, like we said in the beginning, you have to get stubborn. You have to teach your coaches to get stubborn, to not care what people say. You have to be that sounding board where they can come to you and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe what my mother, whom I love so much, just said to me, and they're in tears, or their best friend said to them. You need to be that safe place where they can come to you and you can say, you're right, that sucked, but remember why you started, okay? So that's really, really important. You have to get good at that skill if you want to keep growing your team. And then, how to go all in. How do you go all in, right? This is a big question I get asked a lot. Like, what do I need to do to be successful? Well, you need to decide today that no matter what, this business is going to be X for you. Is it going to be $1 million business? Are you going to treat it like $1 million business? Imagine, Lindsay Matway did a national wake-up call when I first started, and she said, think about people who buy McDonald's franchises. They're like $1 million, right, to buy a McDonald's franchise. So if you spend $1 million to sign up for this business, would you sleep in through your alarm? Would you forget to do your follow-ups? Would you not get your workout done if it meant that your business wasn't going to move forward? Probably not. And I make no offense, but a McDonald's business owner is the exact same thing we are. We are all owning our own business. And as soon as you believe that and you act like it, it doesn't matter. I'm saying this nicely because you guys know that I am a mom of 3. It doesn't matter if your baby's up all night, or it doesn't matter, life will always ebb and flow. And there will be days where you feel nasty and you don't want to do those things. And I'm telling you to respect your body and listen to it. But then the next day you double it up. There's not just kind of that coasting. You can only coast downhill. So going all in to me means you're on every national wake-up call. All of you here are showing me that you're going all in because you're on every call that you can get into. You're asking for other people for help. You're always giving your coach feedback on like, hey, I need help with this. You're constantly in that state of constant and never ending improvement in all those areas. And if your coach knows that, I can assure you that she'll run with you because it's fun. It's fun to be with the runners. Okay. Small steps to success. This is number 5. When I first started, I didn't even know what Success Club was, but someone was like, oh, you should hit Success Club. And I'm like, okay. So that first year, I don't think I got much over Success Club 5. And then last year, I made the decision that I was going to hit Success Club 10 no matter what. And that's all of a sudden when my business hit 6 figures. 18 months in, I was making 6 figures in this business. And it was because I had made my mind up that I would hit Success Club 10 no matter what. And teaching this to your coaches, that's always struggle, right? That's always the hard part. But you kind of have to talk about this right away. It's helping those 3 people. So if you sign up, let's say you sign up 5 coaches a month, which is still big, right? Like some people are really happy to get 3, but let's just say 5 for the sake of this. So you sign up those 5 coaches, your goal should be to help one of those coaches hit Success Club, one of those coaches to help 3 people in that first month. Not that you're going to try to help all of them, but obviously you'll have some that want to run and some that don't. And then the next month of those 5 you sign up, you're going to try to help one of those people, obviously help 3 people. And as you teach that duplication and those coaches teach that duplication, this is where you start seeing a lot of recognition from our company, because this is how you earn elite points. This is really how your business does grow to 6 figures, is by teaching that, Success Club or the 3 Lives Club culture, because that's how you get to see your coaches grow their business, make those big changes. For example, now I've set a goal to hit Success Club 15 every month, which still scares me. It's January, but I'm almost there. But imagine that. Like, what do you think my business will do if I hit Success Club 15 every month? What will your business do if you hit Success Club 5 every month? They say people who hit Success Club 5 at least every month make 70% more on average than the people who only hit it sporadically, which makes sense, right? But if you make your mind up that, you're going to sign your great grandpa up if you have to, if that's what it takes to get you Success Club that month, that's what will make this business, a 6-figure, a 7-figure business for you. And in the book I've just been reading, the 45-second napkin presentation, and he really talks about being able to teach 3 levels down. That really means that you are a good leader and a good teacher. So that means that you have taught your coaches how to hit Success Club, how to train their team, how to get them started right. You've helped them teach their coaches, and then they've helped teach their coaches. So that's 4 levels down from you. Once you've done that, that's really where you know that your team has taken off, and you just then have to, lather, rinse, repeat. Okay, work smarter, not harder, and hold yourself accountable. This is really the way to keep yourself on track. I mentioned having an assistant. I personally don't have one. This is on my list, but for me, I realized I needed to get help with my children first, just because they're more of a priority, and I don't like to work around them, and I don't like to have to only work when they're sleeping. So, I'm having a nanny com just for not even that many hours, but that's my first delegation, is someone to have fun with my kids so that I can drive my kids back and forth to school, and someone else is having fun with my kids. And then I work just in the 2 hours while my son's at school, and then I'm back. So it's really just those kind of little things. Getting a personal assistant. People get so weird about this, but if you go there's a lot of different sites. Shalene talks about this. If you go on there, then you can see you're going to pay like $3 a week, which seems like it's totally undercutting someone. But in the Philippines, it's actually a really great quality of life. So at least I've talked to some other leaders, and I know their assistants who they've hired from those sites are thrilled with how much they're getting paid. And people they can help you do your Success Club callouts. They can help you, do your follow-ups. They can help you make some really pretty graphics. They can help you edit your videos, things like that. Remove temporary non-essentials from your schedule. This is the one no one likes to hear, but if you really want your business to take off, you probably shouldn't be watching very much TV. Your social life will probably change a little bit. You have to be very strict with your time with your spouse, make sure you have that time scheduled. And then, he or she knows hey, let's hang out for the next hour and a half, but then I have to work tonight for another hour, just to make it clear. The other temporary non-essentials sometimes are like hiring a cleaning lady, things like that. but just think through, what are you doing? Are you scrolling through Facebook? How much are you doing that? Are you driving a bunch of people around when that's something that you're volunteering for, but it's holding your business back because it's taking you way too much? Just think through those things on your schedule where you're like, oh, I'm wasting way too much time doing that. Doing things in bulk. This is big also. So if you have like a free clean eating group, or if you have videos to do for your Coach Basics, or even videos for your challenge groups, sit down one day, make sure your hair's done and your makeup's on, and bring down 5 shirts and do all those videos at once. If you have that hour, crank them out. Crank out those photos, make sure you have good lighting, and then you can use those photos for a variety of things. Get a success partner. Getting a success partner to hold you accountable, to check in once a week, where you say, hey, these are my goals for the week. And then the next week they say, did you do those goals? A success partner should be someone that has similar big term goals to you, but does things a little bit differently. So then this way you can run groups potentially together as far as training goes, or, even some challenge groups together. And then you can give someone a really well-rounded experience with a success partner who has different strengths and weaknesses than you do. Tony Robbins talks about this, how on every Sunday you need to do a brain dump. You need to write down, he calls it the capture list, every single thing that you can think of that you need to do in the next week. And then you actually will schedule that out. And now I'm going to do another call on what he calls his RPM system, his rapid planning management system. But this brain dump is essential, because then if you start to get off track, or if you start to, think like, oh, I don't know if I have anything to do, or I just sat down and I'm not sure what to do next, that's where you go to that brain dump. I'm looking at mine now, but you go to that brain dump and you're like, okay, this is it. Another really great book to read on this is Eat That Frog, where you do that brain dump and then you label your activities A, B, C, and then 1, 2, 3. So you don't move on to A2 until A1 is done, no matter what. You don't message your challengers back if that's A3 and A1 is to make sure you do your personal development. You know what I mean? So you refuse to do it. You have to be almost a slave to that list if you really want to be productive and move forward. Also on this, Sunday, you should go through these 3 questions. What did I do awesome last week? What did I struggle with? What are the 1 to 2 areas I know I can improve on? What is my focus for improvement this week? And if you can do those every week, and then you can look back, write these down, obviously, you can look back and you can see where you are improving. Okay, and then this is really the last one that has to kind of fire you up and realize that this is what's going to move you forward, is you have to know your passion and what your priorities are. So if your priority, number 1, is to be a really great mom first, then that's what you have to schedule first. And then everything else will kind of fall into it. If your number 1 priority is to be, a really great dog owner or wife or whatever, that is your passion. And those things have to be scheduled first. I'm not saying it can be the only one. But then, that passion can't be like something that you kind of feel like iffy about. It has to be something, like I said in those affirmations, those things that get you juiced. And those priorities then fall in line with what those passions are. And I really recommend you write them down, like I said, and then you build your priorities list based off of what those, 7 categories of your passions are. Okay, so I have the bottom right one sitting on my desk, and I should have just taken a picture of that, but I look at it every day. And, be kind, work hard, stay humble, smile often, keep honest, stay loyal, travel when possible, never stop learning, be thankful always, and love. And I actually wrote in God next to it, just because that's something like I can look up at that 10 times a day while I'm sitting here, and it always recenters me. And I think doing a vision board is huge. If you weren't part of that vision board training, I know that it was recorded. And also something that I think is really important is not to get so caught up on the future. Think about what you can do in this very exact moment. Like, what are you doing right now? What are you doing right now is something great for your business. You are learning and growing. So in 20 minutes, if you're scrolling through your Facebook, you have to be able to snap yourself back into that. Like, okay, wait, whoa, time out. Is this helping my business? Is this helping my passion? Is this a priority to me? And if you can say yes to all of those, then, keep at it. But if you're saying no to 1 or more of them, that's where you have to be able to get out of that place where you can make that change. And really surround yourself with these positive incantations and things like, this year I will be stronger, braver, kinder, unstoppable, and this year I will be fierce. Like, imagine standing up, getting into a positive state, and saying that with like energy and rock star in your voice. It'll change things. So that's really, what gets me excited. So, okay. Anyone have any questions for me? I'm going to do my giveaway of the shirt. Maybe I think I can do a list of participants. That's what I'll do. I'll scroll back up and down, and whoever I choose will get a free shirt. So let me see. Close my eyes. This person. Tamsin West. Woohoo. Okay. So you get your free 21-day fix extreme shirt. I'll mail it to you, girl. Thank you for getting on. Okay, and I'm going to do this every week. I have some fun little things. They might not always be a tank, but I think getting more people live on these calls and getting your coaches live on these calls will only make your business grow even faster, and then really create this kind of team culture where we're all learning together. I'm not obviously always going to be the one presenting. I've encouraged every diamond in our on our team to pick a topic, and then I also have some really great guest speakers coming. I think next week we have someone who she was actually mentioned at the National Wake Up Call this month. She recruited 18 people last week, so she will be giving us some of her tips and tricks. But anyone have any questions for me based on what I had to say or anything else? No. Okay, well, I'm going to stop recording. Thank you so much. You don't have to jump off. I can always stop recording, and then you can ask me something. But I appreciate it. It's good to see all your faces. See ya.